Hey everyone, welcome to the YouTube channel that is Try to Be Iron, where I document my endeavours in the old triathlon age group world. Now, in this week's video, I want to talk training, fitness, where I'm currently at, and that little thing that we all strive for, which is consistency. Now, if you're watching this and you're a runner, a triathlete, or you partake in some sort of sport that you aim to be better at, or fitter at, or faster at, whatever it is, then you're probably familiar with that word of consistency towards your training. So, what does that mean? What does it look like? And how can we aim to be as consistent as possible? And what I'm going to try and do is give you my take on that in this video. Right, so firstly, I'm going to start off by saying that there are challenges that we face daily, weekly, across the year that we have to get through, in which we're striving to be better, stronger, faster, and in my case, in 3 sports. Now, this is quite a big topic, and I'm not aiming to lecture you in any way. I'm not an expert at any of this, but I want to give you my take on it. You know, this is what this channel's about. It's about being true to my journey through triathlon, and I want to use this opportunity to evaluate my level of consistency over the last sort of two to 3 months. So how am I going to do that? Well, I think the first starting point really would be to look at all the training that I've had been planned for me since the start of September, and really to look back at that and think, well, how much of it have I actually completed? What's been done well? What's been partially missed? What's been completely missed off? I think that's the starting point. So we'll begin there. Right, first thing I'm going to do is pull up my Training Peaks account. Okay, so I'm showing you my Training Peaks account since the start of September. One thing that Training Peaks does is color code your workouts when they are completed or not completed in some cases. So red will basically mean that you haven't done it. Nothing was done around that workout, and therefore it gets highlighted red once it's been missed. Yellow is a little bit more tricky, because yellow can mean it's done to some sort of degree. So whether that is to do with the intensity planned or the length, etc., or simply you've done a little bit more than prescribed. And finally, green obviously pretty much states that you've completed it as planned. Now, there are some other colours in Training Peaks. They have like orange as well, but I'm going to keep it basic and stick to those 3 colours. Any grey boxes that you see are things that you potentially got uploaded, or they were additional sessions that you built in that were not originally planned. Now, a lot of people can get hung up on these numbers, because if you think, you get to the end of the week, you've had a really tough week, whatever that is in your life, work, whatever it can be, and you've got a lot of red, a lot of yellow, then it can be a little bit disheartening, because you look back on it and you think, well, I haven't really trained well. Okay, but what I would say is that the numbers are a very visual way of seeing your consistency in your training that week. Now, hopefully you can see just by looking through my Training Peaks that the majority of my colours are green, and that's good, right? Well, yes and no. And for the purpose of this video, I counted up all of the workouts, and I think there were 149 of them since the start of September. Now, excuse me, because I have got my numbers in front of me, so bear with me. So out of those 139 workouts, there are only 12 that I didn't complete, and that's the red, right? That would leave me with around about 91% score. And of those 8, there were 8 I actually also partially complete, or you'd call those the yellow workouts, and they were equal to around 5% or so. Now, 3 of those yellow workouts were actually down to me doing a little bit more than what was prescribed, meaning my consistency rate or percentage rate would have been more or less around 93%. So there you have it. There's just some numbers to put to, I suppose, the visual colours to give you some sort of statistics around those, and putting them into a little bit more context. But I think you have to go deeper to answer the question of whether I was consistent. So if I look at some of those sessions I missed or partially completed, the question is why? Why were they partially completed? Why were they missed? That is what I really want to know, and I want to unpick and go a little bit deeper with. Now, this is where the real world starts to come into play. Sometimes life just gets in the way. It's as simple as that. And whatever, things come up or throw at you, they tend to change your priorities. And therefore, I only have to look at my week in France in October, where there were some workouts missed, there were some extra rest days taken. The reason being, well, one, I am on holiday. Two, I had work on the house to do, and therefore that takes priority because I'm only there for a week and I want to get it done. And I also know that, at this point of the year, missing 1 or 2 sessions isn't going to cause me a massive, great deal of harm in my progress or my training or my goals for next year. Now, the other thing is around making sensible decisions. Something years ago I don't think, or I wouldn't have done. I've experienced some running niggles since September, particularly with my adductor, which I'm over now, thankfully. And I had to make some sensible decisions around that. Whether, do I push my body and risk a full-blown injury, or do I ease back a little bit, reduce the intensity, or whatever it is that I needed to do, just to not risk being fully blown injured and being out for a longer period of time. And that will probably explain some of the yellow workouts that you'd see highlighted. Look, in an ideal world, we would hit every session. We would feel great. Training would be easy. But this is one of the beauties of this sport, and what makes it interesting is that we're dealing with a huge number of things in our lives, and the decisions that we have to make affect the training and the way that we approach what we do. Now, I'm going to say this, I do believe that you have to be organised in your life. That's, looking at your calendar, what you've got coming up ahead, what your work schedule says, because it's no good planning sessions or getting a coach to plan sessions for you without considering what's coming up. That midweek trip to the theatre that I often like to do, if that's planned on a Thursday, I need to know about it. I need to know when it's coming up, because I don't want to be putting it when I'm swimming in the morning and then I've got a run to do in the evening, or a bike session or something like that. So those decisions are, down to you to look ahead and plan wisely. And that is something that I aim to often do in my approach. So coming back to me, I gotta say, I'm really happy with my progress since September and the way training has gone. I'm so much stronger. I know that because I've been focusing on some strength, and that pull-up bar behind me has seen some action. I've got a new pull-up PB of 16, which I did the other day. I've got a new FTP. My run form and my run fitness, it's not too far off where it was this time last year. And we're still, only in December, and that's a good thing. And, I'm planning on a big year next year, and I'm trying to be sensible and take it in my stride. I've got the new bike as well, which you'd have seen in the previous video. So I'm really looking forward to it and looking to be in great shape for next year. Right, I think I'm going to wrap this one and leave this one there. I hope you've enjoyed it, listening to me rambling on and giving you my thoughts, just from your bog standard age grouper. Consistency is really down to us, or down to you, and how you go about planning it and doing it. And don't beat yourself up if you miss, or you forget to do a session or something like that. Just be as consistent as you can be, would be my simple advice. Right, over and out. I'll see you all in the next one.